welcome to another Secret Academy webinar. And today our topic is about ubiquity, introduction to ubiquity wireless, which mean I will focus on the enterprise wireless, the unify models under the ubiquity products. Okay, so just to let you know, today agenda I will share with you on the software features, the hardware features that unify model have, so that for those who never tried this before, or you still having unclear, you have issues regarding how to use the Unify products. So I'm hoping after this you know which model you want to use, what you can use with it, and you can have your own enterprise wireless network using the Unify products. Okay, so let us go through the features. Okay, for introduction, if you look at the Ubiquity website, okay, okay, you will find all of the hardware is under the unified flagship. Okay, so you can see here, they are under the unified product. They have access point, they have switches, okay, and also they have routers. Okay, so they have all in one, and it can be managed under a single controller. Okay, it's called unified controller. Okay, so easy for you if you set up a network. You can have just one single controller, and you can manage all of the network equipments. Okay, so mudah for you. And then the controller also is free. Okay, you can just download the software free, tak ada charges apa-apa, and you can install on your own VM ke PC pun boleh, or you can sell, if you want to buy the hardware version, dia also ada hardware version. Okay, so we will go through the hardware later. Okay, so let me just tell you about the controller. All right, so when you have ubiquity unified products, you need to take note that you have to configure it using the controller. So dia bukan standalone, so you cannot just plug in and open GUI to configure the device, right? Especially I think most of people under unified product ni, dia orang banyak access point, alright, the unified access point, and then the switches. Okay, so you kena ada the controller. Okay, so the controller, ada a few methods for you to have the controller. Alright, if you want the hardware, okay, you can go for the UCK, which is the Unified Cloud Key. Okay, the latest model is the generation 2 cloud key, which is, if you open the website, you akan nampak, which is this one. This one is the latest cloud key, generation 2. Okay, all right, so this is the first method of managing unified products. Okay, all right, so this is the first one. The second one is you can install on a computer. All right, VM, alright, you boleh install. Alright, so in this way you tak perlu beli hardware cloud key lah. Alright, so you can have your own customized hardware, and then you install the software, and the software is free, don't need license. Okay, and the third one also by mobile apps. Alright, but if you having a big deployment, it's not really suitable for you to use the mobile app because the setup is simple. So kalau home use boleh lah, kalau you deploy untuk enterprise usage tak sesuai lah pakai mobile app. Okay, so normally people will use the cloud key or they will install on a VM or computer. Okay, so this two is common lah, but you take note if you're using cloud key, dia ada limitation, okay, because cloud key punya hardware is limited on the resources. Okay, kalau you tengok the resources dia I mean like the Gen 2 dia ada mana resources. Okay, so dia ada cakap, dia ada cakap, I mean you can manage up to 50 device. Okay, so you kena take note if you want to use cloud key, you need to take note how big is your deployment. Okay, so this is just the amount of devices you can manage, but you need to take note if you are having a lot of users also, you are doing the controller for hotspot, so you need to consider that thing also. So if you have a bigger deployment, you should go for the bigger hardware, which is you can customize, you can have your own VM, you customize, you put a higher RAM, CPU punya count, then you can go for that. Alright, kalau small deployment, yes, you can go for cloud key. Okay, or another hardware, dia ada jual satu server punya uh, uh, apa unified software, which is the install dalam server, which is the unified XG server. Okay, you can go for this one also, alright, but you kena belilah from Ubiquiti. Okay, so if you don't want to, you tak ada server, you don't have any VM, so you buy this server. Okay, so yang ni dia dah come up with the rack mount punya server and dia dah pre-install with the unified controller. Okay, you can use this one unified, or also you can use the Dream Machine Pro. This one is also baru. Alright, so dia ada all in one, you ada dia together, this Dream Machine dia together dengan unified controller, the for camera punya software which is Unified Protect pun dia ada dalam tu. Alright, dia juga ada a router also. Alright, so instead of using the security gateway, alright, this one is the okay, this one is the security gateway, which is the router. Alright, so kalau you pakai Dream Machine ni, all in one. Okay, the security gateway is inside here, the unified controller is inside here, so the unified protect for the camera also will be inside here. So this one is all in one. So there are two version, the normal one, Dream Machine, and then the Dream Machine Pro. Alright, Dream Machine, the normal one dia ada built-in Wi-Fi. Alright, and kalau you want to go for your enterprise yang lagi bigger deployment, so you go for Unified Dream Machine Pro. Alright, so this one tak ada built-in Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is the method to have the unified controller software. Okay, so ada few method, whether you are using the software ataupun you beli yang hardware yang dah siap dah. Okay, so take note on that. Okay, okay, the device generation, I think most of you pun if you I think most of you tahu dah dia punya devices, but you take note lah, some of it dia dah yang old version, so soon will be end of life lah. Actually ada yang dia dah stated dah end of life lah. So like the non-AC version is the generation 1 devices lah, with the yang banyak yang dah end of life. Okay, so if you're still using the generation 1 devices, I suggest you to change to the latest one lah, because the old ones you can use, but there is no updates for the firmware. So the support takat tu saja, so you cannot do anything more. So the controller also tak boleh nak upgrade you punya AP. So it would best for you to upgrade your devices to the generation, the latest one, which is generation 2 or 3 lah. Okay, so the latest one is 3. So 2 is mostly AC, which is dual band and AC. And generation 3 dia dah masuk wave 2, so which mean banyak yang HD, so for high density. So if you tengok model yang ada HD dekat belakang dia tu, which mean this one is the all the latest one, and dia pakai wave 2. Okay, so you take note on that so that you know how to manage your devices. Okay, so that one is AP. So kalau you tengok the website, so you have the APs all here. Okay, so other than the normal one, so the normal one, I think most people are using AC Lite, ACLR, and AC Pro. Okay, this one is very common. Alright. So if you want to go for something advanced, yang lain sikit, you can go for this one is baru, Flex. So Flex HD ni, so generation 3 punya wave 2. Design dia macam cylinder macam ni, so you can have it for desktop mount, you can do it for ceiling mount, pole mount. Okay, so this one is new one. Or if you want to go for the ceiling one tapi you nak high density, you can go for Unified APHD. Alright, or you want to have a security on your radio, you go for SHD. Okay, and then Unified AC ADU, the AP with the public announcement speaker system here. Tapi this one, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be end of life soon. This one, okay. If you want to go for highest capacity, all right, you want to cater thousands of user in one single AP, you go for XG version. Okay, so the other Unified AP XG, or you go to this sector one, which is the Unified Wi-Fi base station. Okay, so this one is ceiling mount, this one is the sector. Okay, so these two, they put example like if you're using the Wi-Fi base station SG, suitable if you put it for example in a stadium. So this one they give example to put it in a stadium. All right, so you put in a stadium or in a hall. Okay, so you can cater thousands of users, but you still use less AP. All right, so this one is for highest capacity AP. Okay, Nano HD, smaller version of the AP HD, and then you boleh customize the skin. Okay, you want to put stickers on it, you can customize the skin. All right, you want to use match, you go for Unify match. So the other two version, the normal one, the small one, and then the pro one. Okay, so you can use a match using Unify match. So this one can put outdoor. Okay, or if you want to use the Unify match, the normal one, the small one, but you want to attach external antenna, so the other Unify mesh antenna. All right, you can use this antenna to have a longer distance, all right, wider area coverage. Okay, if you want to go for in-wall AP, all right, to put inside rooms, for example, all right, you can use Unify in-wall. Okay, so you can use Unify in-wall, and then the other a few LAN port, you can use it as a switch also. Okay, so not only broadcasting the Wi-Fi, you can also power up another device and use it for LAN network. Okay, so this is the in-wall. And then you have the beacon. This one is like a repeater. All right, so it's similar to this unified mesh. So you want to extend your signal. All right, so you can use this one, unified AP beacon HD. Okay, and then they have one new model for point to point. I never see this one. This one is new. It is for 60 gigahertz punya band. So you can use this one for point to point. Okay. All right, so this is the AP yang you have in the unified product. Okay, so the one is AP, and then the switches. Okay, these their switches, layer 2 switches with some layer 3 punya capability. Okay, it's not fully layer 3 punya switches lah, but if you want to use it to power up Unify Pro APs, then you can use it. Okay, so dia ada PoE and non-PoE switches. So the smallest one will be 8 port, okay, and then up to 48 port, okay, both PoE and non-PoE, okay, and then dia ada juga yang SFP punya model yang you can use fiber, okay, so that's the switches, okay, and then their routers. So their routers is called security gateway. Okay, so dia punya routers tak banyak, dia ada dua je, which is the unified security gateway, the normal one or the pro one. Okay, alright. So another version of the gateway is the dream machine. Alright, the dream machine. The machine dia ada security gateway dalam tu. Okay, alright. So if you are using the security gateway, you need to install the controller to manage the security gateway. Alright, if you have the Dream Machine Pro or Dream Machine, the controller is already there. Okay, so that's the product. I think it's very, I think you guys pun tahu dah product dah, is very clear the product. So you know the products, so you know which one you want to use for your network. Okay, okay, their unified controller, so like I said, you can use the cloud key. The old one is the cloud key version 1, and then the gen 2 and gen 2 plus. All right, or you can go for the server punya controller, which is the SG server. Okay, so choices you can have to have the unified controller. Okay, PoE, okay, so you take note, some people they are using the unified switches to power up non-ubiquity product. So always take note that each switches dia ada PoE output methods yang berbeza. So you take note, kalau the standard from the non-ubiquity brands match with the PoE output of the unified switches, then you can use, by right, you can use. Okay, so you take note, each switches dia lain dia punya PoE output power. Okay, alright, remember input power for, okay, if you are using unified AP models but you are using non-ubiquity PoE switches, you also need to take note, the UAP power input must match with the switches power output, okay, or else you cannot power up. Okay, but we always suggest you use the same brand, because definitely if you're using the same brand, you tak ada issue. If you use different brand, maybe you akan face some issue even though the standard is the same. Okay, so if can, try to use the same products. Okay, this is the power output, power input for the access point, right? So take note that the non-AC one, like the generation one, they are using passive PoE, but most of the latest one, they have the AFAT standard. So I think mostly supported by almost all PoE switches brand lah. They can support AFAT modes. Okay, right? Okay, requirement, if you're using the software controller, all right, then you don't need to have a very high spec punya server or PC, but also depends on your usage. Okay, so the minimum requirement, so you can use Linux, you can use Windows, you can use Mac OS, so you take note on the OS that supported, and then the CPU, the RAM, right, the network, and the hard disk. Okay, because this one is just the minimum. Okay, for example, kalau you deploy in a deployment like hotel, you ada hundreds of AP, okay, and your users maybe 1,000, so you kena take note, dia punya RAM, at least RAM tu you naikkan to 4 to 8 gig, okay. Hard disk, more to the processing part was so one thing, and then for the backup dia nak simpan backup, and also backup, and kalau you enable hotspot also you should turn on the hard disk. Okay, so you can change the you can customize the VM or your hardware spec depending on your requirement. Okay, your site requirement. Okay, and then kena run Java. Okay, you kena ada Java. Okay, web browser suggested is to use Chrome. Alright, and dia punya database MongoDB. If you install dekat PC, dia dah ada dah MongoDB ni. Kalau you install on Linux, you kena download, you kena install the MongoDB. Okay, so always take note. Tapi usually kalau it depends also. Some people they only use the unified controller untuk configure. So if you just want to configure, so you no need lah to have a dedicated controller for it. So you just use your laptop. But if you want to configure and you nak monitor all the time, or you having hotspot, so you kena ada dedicated controller. So depends on how you use your controller. But as as an IT administrator, so better you ada dedicated server dekat each of your site. Okay, so sebab ada some people they only install the controller on their PC, and each site dia nak configure baru dia bawa the laptop. So not very good for IT administrator lah kalau you nak nanti you susah. So better ada dedicated controller on each site. Okay, so you take note on the requirement. Okay, so when you have the unified product, the first thing is you need to have the software, so you kena download and install the software. Alright, kalau you dah use the hardware punya unified controller, easier. Alright, dah ada. So if you are using, but usually people will not buy for the hardware. They will use the free one. So even I also use the free one. So I download, you just download from the website. Alright, and then you install. And just a normal installation, you follow the wizard. Alright, it's not hard. If you go to the website, you go to download. Okay, you go under Unify here. You scroll down to the you go to software. So you download. So if you're using macOS, you download macOS. If you're using Windows, download Windows. If you're using Linux, you download for Linux. Okay, so you just download and you run the installation. All right, so you just run the wizard. After you dah run the wizard, you will see you have this icon. Okay. You will have this yes, you will have this icon, the unify icon. So every time, kalau you if you run on a server, service tu you kena make sure run lah. So if you run on PC, like Windows, every time you want to open the controller, you must run this service, the unified service. Okay, dia akan keluar satu small window tu untuk cakap the service is running. Right? If you didn't run this thing, you cannot open the unified controller. Alright. After you run this service, then you can open the controller using the Chrome browser. So usually people use Chrome browser. Okay, so how you log into your controller is you type in IP and then the port 8443. All right, this is how you open your controller. Okay, so the service must be running. So you see here, you need to wait the service running, then you launch a browser to manage the network. Alright, so this is the case kalau biasanya in the PC lah. Kalau dalam server, usually server you dah run the service. Okay, alright, so this is how you open. Alright, so bila you the first time you access the controller, it will have a simple wizard to set up for the first time. alright. So dia akan ask for some credential like this one, how to because when you access, how do I say this? Okay, when you set up the controller for the first time, it will ask you the Ubiquiti account username and password if you have. Okay, because actually you can register an account with Ubiquiti. All right, if you go to, for example, here I go to, I think it's here, community. Okay, so you can register a free account with Ubiquiti, a cloud account. Okay, because when you register the account, you can attach this account into your controller so that you can remotely access your controller. Okay, so I can access controller remotely if I have this Ubiquiti account. All right. If you don't have that one during the wizard, the installation wizard, you can just skip that part and you just use a local administrator username and password. Okay, so you can use it, so you don't get confused with that. So sometimes people they key in the wrong username password, so they can access the controller. Okay, so how you can change the after you log in, then you can change the username and password. And then because in the main page you will see you will have the forgot password, so you need to set up the SNMP server. So you can also set up SNMP server so that if you click the forgot password, it will send an email to reset the password. Alright, because sometimes people dia tak tahu, dia tak set up the SNMP server, so dia tak ingat password, dia click forgot password, they still cannot access the controller. It is because you tak set up the SNMP server, so you have to set up the SMTP server. Okay, alright, so you can that way you can click the forgot password. Okay. Alright. Also take note, some credentials that are important in the unified controller is the SSH credential. Okay, so during the wizard, you will see you have two kind of credential that you can create, which is the first one is the administrator account where you log in here, username, password, and another one is you take note the SSH credential account, the device credential, device authentication account. This will be used for you to adopt your devices if you move from one controller to another controller. Okay, because okay, I give you an example. If you have controller A managing APA, okay, let's say controller A rosak, I mean you cannot open controller A, something wrong with the software, and you don't have backup. Okay, and then you install another controller on another machine, maybe another PC, so you have another controller B. So when you use controller B, you cannot manage APA because it's already managed by controller A. Okay, so the only way you want to remanage or re-adopt APA is you need to use the advanced adoption. So to have the advanced adoption, you need to know the device authentication here, right? So that way you can remanage APA. Okay, so this one is very important because some people they will not take note about this thing, because once you set up your controller, dia akan bagi a random password. So the random password you also will not know. So that's why always change the device, always remember and take note the device application. All right, because if you don't have the backup and you don't have the device application, so the only way controller B can manage again APA is to hard reset APA. So it's going to be troublesome for you if you have a lot of AP. All right, so you kena hard reset one by one. So always take note, device authentication is very important. Okay, also this device authentication also will be used kalau you nak access into your AP. All right, if you want to do anything inside your AP, you beli SSH, you nak manual firmware upgrade ke, so you can SSH into the AP. Okay, so always take note the device authentication. Very very important. Banyak orang dia forget about this one. Okay, all right. Yes, like I said, if you have the Ubiquiti Cloud account like this one, you can register and then you can put in your controller so that you can enable remote access. So you can remote to your controller. Okay, you can remote using the account. Okay, how to update the cloud key firmware and software with the controller. Okay, so if you have the controller, let me just show you the controller. So I have the demo one here. So this one is the controller. So if you are using cloud key, all right, you can see here the controller maintenance. It's not okay. Firmware. Okay, so if you have, let me check. I forgot already. Where is the should be under setting maintenance. Setting maintenance. Yes. If you are using the controller and you want to check for the firmware update, okay, you go to maintenance here, so you can check for firmware update. So if you are using cloud key, dia ada satu lagi, field, check for cloud key update. Alright, so if you are using cloud key, dia akan automatically download and install for you the latest. Kalau you use PC, ya, you tak ada cloud key, when you check for the firmware update, dia akan suruh you download, so you have to reinstall. Tapi dia akan save your setting lah, but you take note that you backup dulu and then baru you reinstall, so you have to reinstall. Okay, so dia bukan kalau you klik ni dia akan automatically upgrade your controller. No, dia akan bagi you the latest version, then you reinstall. Okay, so let's just go through the controller. I think we just go through the controller. Okay, like I said before, the SSH credential is important. So if you go to controller, oh no, I think it's under site here. So you will see, let me just change to advanced features. Oh, it's not here. Because this one is demo one, let me just open my controller. Oh, this is my local controller. Okay, go to setting. Okay, so you see here, if you enable the advanced features, you akan nampak this, like I said before, the device authentication. Alright, so you need to take note, you kena tukar. So you see here, kalau you didn't take note on the device authentication, dia akan bagi random punya password. Alright, dulu punya version, the old controller version, the simple, the UBNT. So people, kalau you tak remember also, you will know the default one, but now the default one is very random, so you tak tahu dia punya username password. So you take note on the device authentication. Alright, the remote access, just now I told you the remote access. So if you enable your controller remote access, alright, so you can access your, when you configure point to your account, your Ubiquiti account, so you can access your controller remotely. Alright, so if I open my portal, my Ubiquiti account, okay, I can, I need to log. Okay, I can. Okay, so I like all of these controllers, I dah point to my account, so I can remotely access each of my controller. all right, but your controller must be online lah in order for you to remote. Okay, so you tak perlulah nak buat port forwarding ke apa ke, so you can remove from here. Alright, so tapi kalau if you want a better connection, you can use port forwarding pun boleh, sebab sometimes using this account a bit slow if you want to launch. So if I want to launch, so sometimes dia lambat. Okay, okay. So this is example. So you see here dia lambat sikit. Okay. Yeah, so this one I'm accessing remotely one of the site. Okay, so this is how as a IT administrator kalau you nak manage or you, if you have multiple controller, so you can point to your account, right? So you can remotely manage your account. Okay, so that's one thing. Let's go back to my controller. Okay. Okay, so the things you can use with the controller. So you will see here on the left side, you have the panel here. So the first panel, the first module is the dashboard. Okay, the dashboard will let you have a summarization of your network punya system health, and then about your users. Okay, so you boleh tengok if you are using the router, switches and APs all together, so you can nampak dia punya status, alright, up and down, internet connection, berapa bandwidth you, so how many guests connected to your network, how many Wi-Fi devices, so you also boleh tengok the Wi-Fi distribution, alright, the channel distribution you can see here also. Alright, then you can know more, alright, the summarization. So it's all under dashboard here, right? So you can monitor on the dashboard. On the statistic, you can view most traffic stat, but you need the routers, all right? There's the security gateway, all right? Maybe some of the reports here, you don't need the security gateway, but some needed, like this one, the system stat, you don't need the security gateway. But if you have the AP, you can view the reports of the AP and the users. Okay, so you have the report. All right. A map is where you upload your floor plan so that you can pinpoint the AP location for you to acknowledge the location of your AP. So you tahu dekat mana AP you. Kalau it's down, you know the location, so easy for you to troubleshoot. Okay. Alright. So this is the map. Also map also you boleh buat juga like dia boleh buat a simple heat map, dia boleh buat you can put a simple heat map, alright, right, because you can draw and then you can generate the signal strength punya map. Okay, the heat map you can also use this one. All right, devices is all the devices that you already manage that are listed here. All right, for example like this one. All right, this one, so all devices you already manage, dia akan listed here. So you can know the IP, the status, the uptime, the models. But the most important thing, you want to monitor the status, alright? You gonna make sure the status is connected. If disconnected, there's something wrong with your AP, right? Maybe the cable, maybe power off, alright? And if the status is isolated, mean the devices is cannot connect to the gateway, right? Cannot ping to the gateway, so dia akan jadi isolated. So the working one is the connected status, alright? If you click one of the device, dia akan keluar individual punya window here. So you can do more setting, right? You can undock here, right? So you can do more setting. So like the normal setup, you can set up the network, okay? Sorry, this one is the security gateway. Just go to the AP. Okay, this one is the AP. Alright, dock here. So you can set up config, right? And you can put alias, a name to your AP. Okay, you can set up the radio, right? If you want to enable you want to fine tune the 2.4 and 5G, so this one you fine tune the 2.4 punya, this one you fine tune the 5G punya radio, alright. So you can change the channel width, the channel frequency, and then the transmit power, alright. You can change, you can adjust the antenna again, okay. Alright. You can set up the SSID. Let's say you want to assign different WLAN group to different AP. So you can select the different WLAN group. Okay. So that's how you can do it. So you can change for 2.4. You can change for 5G. Okay. Network. You want to set IP for your AP. You want to set static IP or you want to use DHCP, so you can set up here, okay. Or if you are using mesh, you can use wireless uplink. You can enable wireless uplink, okay. So and then if you want to forget your device, you want to reset your device, so uh, you can reset from here. So you can just go to forget this device and reset your device. Okay, so the individual setting for AP is here. Under setting, you click one of the AP. And then you can have tools you want to scan for the Wi-Fi interference, Wi-Fi experience, so you can scan so that you can have a proper planning on your Wi-Fi. Okay, so always do a proper Wi-Fi planning so that you can have a better experience for your users. Okay, so when you do the scanning, and then you can select the most suitable frequency for each of the AP. All right, so always do that, and then you can see the report, so the statistic of your AP, the CPU and memory. Okay, I think someone want to ask me a question. Using Unified Dream Machine Pro can running as gateway, switch, and SDN same time. Yes, switch. I don't consider this as a switch because the port also they don't have so many port in the Unified Dream Pro. Okay, so you still kena ada unified switch if you want to run as a switch. Okay, so yes, dia boleh run as a gateway, security gateway, and also as the unified controller at the same time. Okay, all right. I think that's answering your question, Alif. Okay, let's go back to my slide. Okay, create and restore backup. So this one is also simple. If you want to backup, so like I said, always keep your backup, because if you lose your controller and you don't have the backup, the only way you want to remanage your AP is you have to know the SSH credential, and the last option to hard reset your device, your AP. So always backup to backup your config, you go to backup, all right, and then you click download file here. Okay, so you just take the setting only. At least you take, and you have the setting, that one is most important, to have the setting, so you download, and then you can re-upload back the backup into the new controller, and you can upload the file back. Okay, so always take care of your backup. Okay, it's important. Okay, generating. Okay, this one restoring, right? Changing the info address on the controller. Okay, this one is this one. I think this one is no need. This one, device adoption. Okay, I think this one is you guys know already on how to adopt the devices. Once you have the controller set up already, you can turn on your, if you're using AP, you turn on the unified AP, connect to the network, and you make sure that the AP is discoverable in the devices section here. So what you need to take note, that you need to have a DHCP server running, so that your AP dia akan dapat IP. Alright, so kalau let's say you turn on 10 AP, by right dia akan list down 10 APs here. So dia akan dapat DHCP for your network. So you need to have a DHCP server running. Okay. And then from there, how to adopt is easy. Dia akan keluar, the AP will be there, and then dia ada button. You akan nampak the button, dia punya status is pending approval, and when you go to the right, the last row here, column here, you akan nampak dia ada button adopt. Alright, so you just click adopt. Okay, by right, when you click adopt, dia akan provisioning, and then the status will be connected. So bila the status being connected, means you dah successfully manage the device. Okay, so take note that you must have DHCP server running. So if you see example here, the diagram here, so I have the gateway. All right, so the USG will be the DHCP server. So I have the switch, so I connect the controller, and then I connect the AP. So the AP will be having the DHCP server from the USG. So when I open my PC to access the UBNT controller, I will see the list of AP. All right, so I just click adopt. Okay, that's how you adopt the device. Okay, so I put some steps here. All right, I will give you the steps later if you didn't know how to adopt the device. Okay, advanced adoption, like I said, if you want to manage a previously managed device, you need to use advanced adoption. Okay, so when the status is managed by other and you want to remanage the AP using another controller, so you use the advanced adoption, but you need to take note, like I said, the device authentication. All right, so you need to take note that it's the device authentication. Okay, so if you don't have the password, then you need to factory reset the device. Okay, so you need to hard reset the device. So this is the step to hard reset the device. You just plug in a pin into the reset button, and you wait until the LED will stop glowing. Okay, and then dia akan jadi balik white color. If dia jadi white color, means you successfully reset the device. Okay, right? Also take note, also if you are having problem to adopt, alright, kalau you adopt, you asyik dapat adoption fail, alright, you take note that there is something blocking the communication between the controller and your device. Okay, so usually if kalau you use Windows PC, usually firewall you maybe ada block something or antivirus you. So the most important port yang controller and Unify AP use is 8080. Alright, so kalau in between ada blocking for port 8080, so that's why some people having trouble, dia selalu dapat adoption fail. Okay, so that one you kena check lah. So kalau ada blocking, kalau you set up on a network, kalau you think it's not your PC, so maybe your firewall ke ada blocking the port. Okay, you take note that the 8080 is very important. Also, kalau you open the, let's say you open the controller for your PC, you having trouble, tak boleh nak launch a browser, dia ada cakap error, port 8443 used by somebody else, which means ada some other application is using 8443. So 8443 is used for you to open the GUI, alright, HTTPS. Okay, so most probably 8080 and 8443 is two of the ports that are very important when using the unified controller. Alright, and then also Java version, also you need to take note the Java version, you should use the latest Java version. Okay, cloud key. Okay, the device, if you're using cloud key, the old one, it only support up until 23 APs. Okay, So if you have more than that, you should go for the generation 2. All right, generation 2 can go from generation 2 40, and then the generation 2 plus 40 AP, and then you can manage also the camera. All right, you can use the camera also. All right, so if you have below than 50, you can go for the cloud key, or you can use the Windows controller installed on the Windows. More than that, you use the server and the hardware, the dream machine. Okay. UAP status meaning, if you didn't know, if you see here the status, okay, connected means your AP is working fine. Disconnected, if you see disconnected means there is some issue with your AP. It could be the AP is power off. It could be the controller cannot ping the match. Okay, if the controller FDX, okay, provisioning, you tak manage lagi. Alright, isolated, the UAP unable. Disconnected, isolated, managed by other, and maybe hard miss. Okay, right. Uh, Next one is creating a new knowledge group. Okay, so each AP you can assign one WLAN group. Okay, and then in each WLAN group you can have 4 SSID. So you can assign different SSID to different AP. So different WLAN group to different AP. So you just create. If you want to have maybe certain AP having different WLAN group, so you just create multiple WLAN group, and then you attach the WLAN group to that desired AP. Okay, so this is how you create the WLAN group. So you just go to the setting, the wireless network setting, you create the WLAN group, and you create the SSID, and then you go to that individual AP, and then you select the WLAN group that you want to use. Okay, right, so this way you will be having a different WLAN group for different AP. Okay, all right. You can also set limitation on the bandwidth for the SSID, right? So you create the user group, okay, and then you attach the user group to the SSID. So let me just show you how you do it. So to create a WLAN group, you just go to setting, wireless network, and then you just create it. You can add a new WLAN group here. All right, so you can create a new WLAN group, and then you can go into the WLAN group and you can create a new SSID. Okay, so this is how you create a WLAN group. Okay, and to limit the bandwidth to the SSID, you first create the user group. Right, you create a user group. All right, maybe you put a name to it, and then you limit the download and upload bandwidth. All right, you can set the download bandwidth. Okay, and then you go back to your SSID. You edit your SSID under advanced option here. You select that user group. Okay, so this is how you limit the bandwidth to the SSID. Okay, so you can use this one. Okay, and then to attach the WLAN group, you go to the desired AP, you go to the config, and then under WLAN mode here, you select the WLAN group that you want. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, how to set user base limit? The same thing here. If you want to set the limit for the desired client, right? If you know someone and you want to limit that person, so you just check on the client for the user. You click on the user, and then you can assign that user with the speed limit, right? So you can select the speed limit. All right, this way you will not assign to the SSID, you assign to the user. So whenever the user is connected to the network, they will get the speed limit on what you already assigned them. Okay, so that's how you set. How to private to wireless network. Okay, this one this one also similar to that one. Most common causes of application failures. All right. So yeah, like I mentioned before, you must check the firewall. Maybe the ports blocked by the firewall or maybe antivirus. DHCP server issue, maybe your AP is not getting IP, so your controller if cannot ping AP, so that's why you keep getting adoption fail, alright, because no communication, or maybe something wrong with your network topology issue. Maybe ada some conflict in your network, alright, IP conflict ke duplicate ke, or your LAN cable is not good, so controller cannot reach the AP properly. Okay, so also if you're using cloud key, you take note that cloud key ni sometimes people face the offline issue. All right, so most probably the symptoms you cannot access via browser. All right, so usually sebabnya the most common is uh, power outage. If suddenly power turn off, bila dia start balik dia punya clock key tu dia hang. So selalunya kita suggest you have a backup power, because if you using cloud key, dia ada, you can use the PoE switch to power up the cloud key. Also dia ada micro USB, so you can attach to a power bank, so that kalau you power interruption, the cloud key akan still turn on. Alright, so because cloud key ni very sensitive, dia because dia punya hardware dia kecil, so kadang-kadang dia ada masalah. Alright, also masalah juga kalau disk space dia limited, so kalau hard disk dia full, you akan ada issue you nak access the controller. Okay, so always clear dia punya disk space dia. Alright, jangan backup tu dah ambil then you delete, so that you can access the cloud key. That's why I said cloud key is not suitable for high deployment, yang big deployment punya. Okay, kalau small deployment boleh, kalau big deployment tak sesuai. Alright, so dia banyak isu kat situ. Okay, I think that's about it pasal Unify, especially the controller and the devices. Anything you want to ask up until now? Ada apa nak tanya? Tak ada Kalau if tak ada, I'll end my session here. Nanti I can ask Sis to send this slide to you. Hopefully you understand on how to use the controller and the devices. Hmm, kalau ada question apa later, you can ask from us. Kita akan help you. I think that's all from me. Thank you. Alright, see you next time.